pursue these research projects using that grant. All right, do we have any mathematicians on the boat today? What's the shape of that building called? It's called a frustum. 2 pyramids cut off in the top third. You put one on top of the other. That's why the building goes in and out and in and out. And that's also the reason why you have so many different colors of blue glass on the building. Because where the building is narrow, like your waist, well, not my waist, but some people, more sun gets in and heats up the building, so you need darker glass to keep that sun from heating it up. Where the building is bigger, like the shoulders, you can have lighter colored glass, and then all the gradations in between. The complex actually has 5 structures. Next to the orange brick building, you'll see a small block building. That's where the hotel amenities and ballrooms will be located. The building sticking out at the front, called the Ice Cube, is where the restaurants and bars will be located. And notice that the dividers on the windows of that building are in that same frustum shape. The 3 tall towers, 40, 76, and 95 stories in height, pose quite an engineering challenge. Once again, our friends Magnus and Clemensic had to work out how to make this building stand up. A particular problem, because where you see the ice cube sticking out, the tower in the middle behind it does not touch the ground. The way they made that stand up, think about 3 fraternity brothers on a Saturday night coming back from a party, and the middle one is drunk. The other 2 are pushing him on his shoulders to hold him up, to drag him back to the frat house. That's what happens in that building. There's a big concrete shear wall that goes all the way across that holds up that center tower. And then the tallest tower. It's very narrow. When you spend $10 million plus for a condo, you don't want to get seasick. And so they had to do 2 things up there. You can see that they didn't finish a couple of floors. That's because that's a blow-through floor. The wind can go through the building. And then they also have some of those fine-tuned mass dampers up at the top of that building. The building coming out at an angle is a triangle. Okay, let's see who was listening to me. I hope you're not like my boys who don't listen to me, they just roll their eyes. Who likes triangles? What architect likes triangles? Harry Weiss, he likes sails, right. This is the Swiss Hotel. The triangle solves two problems for his client. The elevators come up in the center, so you don't need a lot of corridor space. 3 little corridors give access to all the rooms on a floor. But more importantly, he put that tower on a square base, knowing that it would be surrounded with tall buildings. So every facade always gets natural light. So once again, he uses that love of the triangle for the benefit of his client. Now, as we head back to the dock, let's return to where we started our tour with the Trump Tower. As you sit here, it almost looks like it's sitting in the river. And if you were in the business district on Wabash, it would look like it was in the middle of that street. This is a very peculiar piece of land because, as you probably know, most of Chicago is a 90-degree angle grid. Not here. In addition, Adrian Smith was humbled by the fact that he was being asked to design a building that was going to stand in the class picture, if you will, of the great 20th century buildings by the great 20th century architects. So those gray louvers that you see, those have been strategically placed. The lowest ones nearest the street are roughly the height of the base of the clock tower in the 1921 Graham Anderson Probst and White design for the Wrigley Company. The second set of louvers are roughly the height of those corncob buildings by Bertrand Goldberg from the 1960s at Marina City. And the third set of louvers are roughly the height of the roof line of Mies van der Rohe's last design, the IBM building from 1971. The building doesn't have a style name, it's too new. Style names often come 20 to 30 years after buildings are built, when we can see common features, but we already know that it has many features from mid-20th century modern, but it also uses the advantages of reinforced concrete and other new materials. Those louvers are also a very important part of the structure system that Bill Baker uses for here and the Burj Khalifa. It's called a core and outrigger. Again, let me illustrate with my body. I'm a skier on snow skis. My torso's the center of the building. Big, thick, reinforced concrete walls. That's where the elevators are. Those columns I pointed out before, those are the snow skis. Where are the arms? The arms are inside those gray louvers. And that's what holds this building up. So now as we head back to the docks, I hope you appreciate why I said at the beginning of our tour that Chicago is recognized for its innovation in architecture, business, building technology, and city planning. We've seen how many areas of the city that were formerly railroad yards or industrial properties have now either been redeveloped or adapted for modern use. Let me leave you with a quote from one of our great early architects and planners, Daniel Burnham. He said, "Make no small plans, make big plans, aim high in work and in hope, for you will be astonished by what will be accomplished by your sons and daughters and your grandsons and your granddaughters." Well, I hope you were astonished. Thank you very much for your time and attention today. And let's thank Captain Kit and her crew for our safe journey. Please remain seated. It's just like an airplane. The captain will tell you when it's safe for you to stand up. The captain introduced me as a docent. I'm a volunteer. We are not paid, and unlike other volunteers, we may not accept tips, but you're not off the hook. Go on TripAdvisor or other social media and say something really nice about the Chicago Architecture Center River Cruise. You can include a word about Docent Bill, the retired lawyer. Number 2, join the Chicago Architecture Center. We're right up there, 111 East Wacker Drive. If you're only in the city for a long weekend, you can recoup your membership by just taking a few of our walking tours, for which there's no or a minimal charge. Take your ticket from today, pay another $5 and go through our exhibits in the museum. The ticket is good for 7 days. Please sit down. Please sit down. And finally, I will be at the end of the gangway to answer any questions that you might have. Again, thank you very much for your time and attention today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.